Hi, it's Karen from Sideways Explorer. We are in the process of planning our trip to Africa for 6 to 9 months, leaving mid-January. We're going to have a few days in Dubai and then on to Kenya and a number of other countries during the 6 to 9 months. As I always do when I'm planning a trip, I went online to do some research to try to figure out what we needed to do to prepare for the trip. And what I found is there isn't a whole lot of information out there to help guide us through both the preparation of the trip and actually getting there. Thus was kind of the reason I started this video blog, because first we want to share our adventure and our experiences and the culture that we find there, but I also wanted to be able to offer some practical tips and information in the event someone may do some research and need some assistance planning a trip like this. So whether you are planning to travel for a couple weeks more extensively, or you'd like to share in this adventure from your recliner, we are ready to begin in about a month from now. This particular video is going to cover information about immunizations and visas that you need to go to Africa. As of October of 2018, if you have a U.S. passport, you can visit up to 186 countries and territories without a visa or by getting a visa upon arrival. In our case, since we were going to Kenya and we would be going in and out, we'd be there longer than the normal 30 to 90 days, we actually visited the Kenyan embassy in Washington, D.C. to apply for a visa. We wanted a multiple entry visa as opposed to simply a one entry visa. It's a little bit more money. Biggest problem is, even though we put that we would be entering the country on January 20th, they actually started the visa in early November when we applied. So by the time we get to the country, we will be 3 months into our 6-month visa. Another thing that is a really good idea is it's called the Smart Step Traveler Enrollment Program. And this is through the Department of State, where you can register your travel and they know where you are in the event of an emergency. So as far as immunizations go, your general doctor is not going to have these types of vaccinations, immunizations in inventory, so they will probably refer you to a travel clinic, which is what happened to us. So the only vaccination that is required upon entry is yellow fever. That is about $245. You will get your yellow immunization card, and this will be required upon entry. And this has the yellow fever information inside of it that is filled out by the person that provides the vaccination. If we would have received all of the vaccinations that were recommended by this particular travel clinic, it would have been thousands and thousands of dollars. But one thing that is of particular concern is malaria. Now, there is no immunization against malaria, but there are some options that they do recommend. The first one is Marilone. It is both a treatment drug as well as a prevention drug. Not 100%, but has been proven to be much more effective than some of the older drugs. It is expensive. It is $7 per pill, and you do have to take one every day. So for us, not only is it cost prohibitive, but the long-term effects of taking a drug like that every day are not really something that has a lot of information on it, and we don't want to be the guinea pigs. The other option is doxycycline, which is an antibiotic. Again, long-term, taking 6 to 9 months is not an option for us. But if you're only going for 1 or 2 weeks, Both of these are both treatments for malaria and prevention for malaria. We have opted to be hypervigilant with our protection, and I'll get into that in a few minutes. Some of the other vaccinations are meningitis, which we did choose to get because of getting that is often fatal, hepatitis A and B, rabies, cholera. So there are some of the vaccinations that you can get prior to going to the trip. Cholera, for example, is something that you get from water and food that's washed with water, and it's not recommended that you drink the water there or eat items that have been washed in the water. Bottled water is what you would use while you're in Africa. An app that you may want to try, it's called CDC TravWell. This will contain all of your immunizations, your passports, any other documents that you want to bring. I found it very helpful. Okay, last thing, these are some things that you may want to take with you on a trip like this. So the first is insect repellent. The most important thing about it is that it is 20 to 50% DEET is the ingredient, and that will be very effective against mosquitoes. Another thing that we found that could be very helpful, it's called duration. And the active ingredient in this that is most important is Permethrin. And it comes in a number of different brands, but what it is it's to treat your clothing and your bedding. So you spray it on, you can even spray it before you leave. It comes with a plastic bag that you can put all the treated clothes in, and it lasts through several washings and up to 6 weeks. So this also will help to be hypervigilant about the mosquitoes. A couple other things, you know, the food and the water there are different and sometimes can affect our digestive systems, you know, in a bad way. So this is called Travelan, and it is something that you can take if you're going to have a meal that may be a little bit risque, as far as salad that was washed with the water. Just like Mexico, you can't drink the water there. You take this before you go, and it actually blocks the bacteria from entering your system. So if you're going to have a meal out on a safari, you don't know how it was prepared, or you're going to have something that you're not sure is going to have a bad effect on you, this is the perfect thing to take. And finally, if you do get sick, you could take Imodium, but Imodium just binds you up. This particular product, it's called DiaResQ. And the important thing about this is it actually expels the bacteria that's causing the digestive distress from your system, as opposed to just binding you up. So it'll get rid of it out of your system. And there are just a few things that you could take. All of them are available on Amazon. I'll put some information about all of the things that we've talked about today in the narrative section. But next time I see you, we will actually be beginning the adventure to Africa. So have a great day.